Come to the podium, or virtual participants unmute your microphone when called upon. State your name and address for the record. And after speaking, write your name and address on the record sheet. Virtual participants do not complete this step. To allow every participant an opportunity to be heard, public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. The chairman will indicate when your allowed time has elapsed. In the interest of running an orderly meeting, we ask that you do not duplicate comments made by a previous speaker. Instead, please simply confirm your agreement with previous statements. When appropriate, the commissioners may refer an item identified during public comments to the county administrator for further action. Please note that if a speaker intends to give commissioners any records of any kind as a part of a presentation, the records must be handed directly to the clerk of the board for distribution.
Thank you. Anyone here in Prosser wishing to come before the board? Anyone? I don't see anyone. Oh, someone moving in Kennewick? Nope. Okay. Anyone? Can you see anyone on WebEx? Raise a hand.
Yeah, I don't see
Yes, okay. No. No phone calls. Nope. Okay. With that, we'll close public comment. Could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through Q?
Motion to go ahead and approve the consent agenda items A through Q. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Scheduled business, 2025 Washington County Insurance Fund Wellness Grant. Carmen. And the board meeting is here tomorrow and Thursday.
I saw you got your room for it, so.
Yeah, I got it. They gave me. I canceled the room.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just taking a staycation or giving Josie a break.
Maybe Josie can go.
Thank you, Commissioner. The county has been approved for a wellness grant of $1,150 from the Washington County's Insurance Fund. This is the first time that the county has applied and been approved for this grant. So we're hoping that this can be an ongoing one that we can use for wellness activities. This year, we intend to utilize the funds to support Flip Flop Friday as a team building event, as well as enhancing the annual employee benefits fair in the fall. So we're just looking for approval to accept that grant and spend the money.
I got a motion. I move to approve the resolution accepting the 2025 WCIF Wellness Grant in the amount of $1,150. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for applying for it.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have our esteemed treasurer, Mr. Spencer, with a tie on today. Tell us all about the temporary changing of the hours for transaction of business with Benton County Treasurer's Prosser Office.
Thank you, Commissioners. We have done some work. We had a key staff member leave our office this last month. And based on, we've been doing a survey to see what kind of activity we've had in our office here. And due to the fact that, we have a lot of stuff coming in by electronic, we have a Dropbox that we've asked you if we could reduce our hours here in Prosser from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon with a 1 hour lunch break for the staff. But we found that the 1 hour lunch break for the whole office seems to make it easier to staff that office. We'd asked to let us try this for this month through November and see how it does, so we can see how it affects the people in Prosser. We have a lot of times when there's 1 or 2 people that come in, some days with none. And a lot of the days it's people asking for directions to some other group in the courthouse. So we found out that there's not a lot of business that is transacted there. And we've had some time that we can use one of our other office staff to do that 10 to 2 and not impinge on the things that she needs to get done during the day. So we're asking you if you'll let us change the office hours temporarily to see what it does.
So it would be open at 10.
Oh, the front door, our door would be open from 10 until lunch, and then again from 1 until 2 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
What do people come into the treasurer office for?
directions.
I mean, you pay your taxes.
Sometimes there are people that question their taxes. Some of it is for real estate excise tax, but most of the REIT stuff is done in the Kennewick office. That's where the title companies are. And so they usually have to go from our office to the auditor's office. And consequently, with the new system in Kennewick, that seems to be the easiest for them because they can just change from one desk to another and get it done.
You're gonna track everything, so November you come get a full report.
We tracked it for a year and a half
Okay.
every day to see what kind of activity we had taking place. So
Oh, I appreciate that.
we felt a little comfortable asking for this.
And you're also gonna be down one person in there too, right? In the meantime, that's one of the things too.
Yeah, we're just testing to see what happens.
So I'm ready to do a motion
Okay.
if you are.
Okay,
So I have to do it for a gentleman that's wearing his tie. I've never seen that in a while. So I move to approve the resolution changing the hours for the transaction of business for Benton County's Treasurer's Prosser Office.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed nay. The ayes have it. The motion passes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
You gonna go to the back or you gonna sit up front? Okay, we'll give you time to get back there. Okay, next, grant application with the Washington State Department of Commerce. Victim Witness Assistance.
Good morning.
Mr.
The prosecutor's office applied for the Victim Witness Assistance Grant. And the office has been found eligible to receive over $70,000 under the grant. The grant provides support to the victims and witnesses of crimes. The support is provided in the prosecutor's office through the Victims Witness Coordinator. So we are asking the commissioners to authorize the county prosecutor to sign the Victims Witness Assistance Grant.
Any question?
I do have one.
Go.
So, I know I'm so pro grants. First day I got in office, I think I talked about grants, and if we don't apply for these grants from taxpayer dollars our taxpayer dollars go to Olympia. And if we don't apply for them, they're going to go to another county, another city, someplace else. So I really appreciate the county prosecutor applying for grants. But if these go away, we just want to make sure that in the future that, each department, if they want something like this and they practice using these funds in the future, if that grant does go away and they want to continue it, to make sure they put it in their budget. So we're not surprised on that, because those things add up after a while. I like this grant. I think it goes for a good purpose. But once again, I always get nervous sometimes to make sure that we have these type of good programs. If that funding goes away, we just want to make sure that we have it in the budget. And so the budget line items, those things in those departments. That's all I have.
Oh, okay. I mean, the victim witness program used to be well funded, but then over time now, because the court rulings, you can't collect this and that, all that kind of crap.
That's the kicker.
Yeah, so, well, at least they're stepping up a little bit. Well, it's the Commerce, they put the grants in the Department of Commerce, not AOC. Okay,
Yeah, it's always wondering when, like I said, when these things go away, depending on the deficit in Olympia, how they manage funds.
okay.
So I'm ready to do a motion if you
Okay.
guys are. I move to authorize Benton County Prosecutor to sign the SYF 2026 Victim Witness Assistance Program, which commences on July 1st, 2025, and ends on June 3rd, 2026, in the amount of $70,029.
Just real quick, you said SYF is S.
SFY.
Yeah,
I stand corrected, thank you.
second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes. Thank you, sir. Washington State DNR Land Transfer Program applicant. Oh, we got Ben with us too. That's why he's here. You want to introduce your friend?
Yes, I will. Good morning. Michelle, Adam, myself are all being joined this morning by Ben Floyd of White Bluff Consulting. Ben's been our leading consultant for our 2026 comprehensive plan update process. And if you don't know Ben, a little bit of Ben's history, he's been around the region as a land use planner and consultant for probably almost 30 years now, and was actually our sustainable development manager back in the 90s, just before Adam. So, but this year we've been working with.
Ben hire Adam?
No, Adam was already here.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
We did work together though.
Ben's old, he's not quite that.
Thank you.
So this past year, we've been working on a lot of different things related to growth management, our comprehensive plan update, and specifically as it relates to the GMA goals. They have a new goal for open space and open space corridors, and the requirement for the counties to identify these areas. That led us to some different conversations this last year with our different partnering agencies. We met with Fish and Wildlife, we met with DNR, trying to look at different opportunities for those identifications. And the DNR conversation kind of led us down the road of some property out in Badger Canyon, not far from the Public Services Building. It's about 270 acres. We determined in our conversations with them that this would be a good property to identify and meet some of those open space goals. While also, we learned that it may be a good property to move into a DNR land trust transfer program. It's a program where the county could potentially get that land at no cost. And so we wanted them to come in this morning, take a few minutes, kind of talk about the property, talk about our process. And so I'll just turn it over to them.
Great. All right. Thank you, Greg. And good morning. It's good to be with you. Welcome. Thank you. So we'll go to the next slide if we can. So this map shows you some of the mapping work that we've done for the comprehensive plan update. As Greg mentioned, there's a new requirement to be able to, you have to identify open space corridors within and between urban growth areas. So you think between urban growth areas, so that's like between Prosser and Benton City and Richland and Kennewick. And then within, the cities are largely taking the lead on that. But if you look at the areas that are in blue on the map, those are the corridors that we've identified. So along the Horse Heaven Hills, along the Yakima and Columbia Rivers, as well as kind of heading out towards Findlay along the canal systems. Those are corridors where you've got, you know, pockets of open space, public land and undeveloped land, as well as, you know, areas for recreation. The reason for designating the open space corridors is you're looking at recreation, habitat conservation, and access, public access, and potentially even park development. And so we're here today to share with you kind of maybe an early action out of this work, which is this DNR property. And we're coming to you first today, and then we're also going to be going to the Parks and Recreation Board, and then there'll be a public meeting related to all of this. But we kind of want to make sure you're supportive of where we're heading before we move too far down the road. So the other thing that overlays in this map, the areas in green are where we have identified habitat corridors, priority habitat areas, as identified by the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife. And so you can see there's a lot of overlap with that property. And then on top of that, we've identified all the public land. And there's a lot of public land along these corridors as well, which provides opportunity for, you know, improved access and maybe, you know, even some limited development for recreation purposes. Next slide. So this property, as Greg mentioned, the DNR parcel, so it's south of I-82 in Badger Canyon and not that far west of the Clearwater I-82 Badger Road interchange. You can see in this picture, the freeway is right there to the north, and you can see Badger Road is on the bottom. And then you've got a lot of the development in Badger Canyon, but you got this pocket of a couple properties that are on hillsides that haven't been developed. The DNR property is 270 acres, as Greg mentioned. There's a BLM property that could factor in down the road. That's another 160 acres, again, with some slope on it. And then they're kind of connected at a corner. There's also another piece of property out here that's DNR, but it's under an ag lease. and it's being grazed currently. But so we saw these properties as we did the evaluation, and then we reached out to DNR and said, hey, what are the plans for this 270 acre property? And they're like, well, we've had some developers approach us, to potentially put in some homes, but it'd be steeper slopes, and the zoning out there is actually 1 for 5 acres, 1 unit for 5 acres. So not like you'd have a lot of development that could occur out in there. So they said, we've really just been kind of sitting on this property for quite a few years. And so we said, well, would you be open to, coming into some kind of arrangement where we could develop this as maybe a mountain bike and trail park? And they said, yeah, we're probably open to that. And in fact, we have a trust land transfer program that can allow you to do this and get the property for free. And it would come out of DNR's ownership. And that trust land program has been recently activated in recent years. It's to keep special places in public ownership. It's funded by the legislature, so there's an appraisal, and whatever the value of the property is, DNR gets paid by that out of the state budget. And so that kind of helps them with their trust program needs for, funding education. Then the recipient receives that, as Greg mentioned, without any cost. You have obviously ongoing management costs of the property. But it's a pretty good deal, and the purposes are for conservation and recreation, which is a really good fit for the open space goals that we're developing in the comprehensive plan.
Is the GMA update, is there a specific amount of land we have to designate as? No, you just have to identify.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to designate them as such, you just identify them. No official designation of a wildlife corridor.
Well, so we have an open space designation already.
Right. In our zoning ordinance, we do have an open space for properties that have like conservation easements on them.
Right. Okay.
So we do have some lands that are designated open space now. And certainly as part of the GMA requirements, we'll be looking to see if there's other opportunities out there or other landowners who may be interested in doing that, giving people options, basically what we'd be doing.
Yeah, normally we wouldn't be moving this quickly on this piece of property while we're, updating your draft plan, but the window of opportunity came up. And so we thought, well, maybe we ought to look at this a little more specifically and take advantage of that, because it could be a couple more years before it opens up again.
So what are the cons, Greg? Could you see any cons other than just the ongoing maintenance of the property, which would be minimal, I would think?
Yeah, and I think that's, from a financial standpoint, I think that's the biggest issue is and Adam will be able to talk about that a little bit too, is just the ongoing maintenance of the property. But there are some potential options that we've been researching to try to mitigate some of that with different associations. And Ben will kind of talk about that.
Probably know a few of them. Yeah. So what are the positives?
Oh, well, the positives is the ground it meets the open space objectives. It would be very consistent with the other recreational and open space opportunities we have in the area, and it wouldn't be developed.
So we have
5 acre lots.
Yeah, so
it would be maintained in open space.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like Badger Mountain and stuff like that. They have all the different hiking trails, those type of things like that, and where a lot of people go ahead and utilize those. I forgot how many. It's several hundred. It's over 100,000 people use that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I see the pros on it. I think the con is pretty minimal overall. I think, Adam, would you agree with that? Okay, I want to make sure I see all the senior staff.
There's a lot of grants on it.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that we got that on record. Because people are going to ask why, which way. Okay.
No, those are. I got my lens back and I can see them now. So those aren't existing trails.
Well, there are some existing informal trails out
Informal
there.
trails.
So like I've ridden out there on my mountain bike. I've also walked out there, and there are informal trails on the map that you're looking at right now. If you can see the red lines,
Right.
So those red lines are where the existing trails are, and those are not all of them. Those are just the ones that we mapped as we rode out there. But yeah, every day in the morning you'll see people out there hiking, walking their dogs. So both the neighborhoods up high and down low, people have access. You can cross the canals. informally right now at 2 different locations. And so every time I've been out there, I've seen people, hiking or biking.
Okay.
In the winter times, it gets used by ATVs and dirt bikes, which that would change under this proposal.
That's one of them. I just thought about that because when I'm down there, I've seen motorcycles and ATVs using those. So that would be a restriction that would come off then.
Yeah,
Because I know that it's probably being used quite a bit for that as well. I think.
it is. And some of those trails are probably cut in by dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Those wiser boys, I used to chase them.
Yes. Yep. They take off and then just ride around the hill and say, come get me. You can see it's also pretty good habitat. So this is an opportunity not only to have some recreational development, and there would be more trails obviously than what are currently existing out there, but there's also some nice stands of sagebrush, bunch grass, and various species that are associated with shrub steppe habitat that are out there. More usage might change that a little bit, but like I say, it's already being used at a decent amount of traffic out there, and you still have the wildlife. So wildlife preservation wouldn't be like the primary purpose of this property. It would be for recreation and specifically for mountain bikes, but it would also still protect that open space and provide some ongoing habitat benefits.
And I think as far as sagebrush, I didn't realize until I had some people take me through a tour and stuff, how long it takes sagebrush to grow, even to that, what's in that picture. It's years and years and years. It's shocking.
We can get that designated a tree, we could have a national forest.
Exactly.
Get more built in there.
There we go.
So I mentioned that mountain biking, and just a little more context here. The mountain biking community has been looking for a place to long-term develop and use in the Tri-Cities area. There's a mountain biking trail in the back of Badger, but there's so much traffic. I mountain bike, so full disclosure, and I also run those trails and hike them, but there's so much traffic back there, it's pretty difficult to ride Badger or Candy in the areas where you can bike just because of all the traffic. And then you're looking at driving a couple hours. You either go down to like Mount Emily and LeGrand, or you're going up to Spokane, or you're going to Post Canyon down by Hood River, or you're going over to Ellensburg, Cle Elum area. So the actual mountain biking opportunities are not that great right close by. State Patrol's going away and being developed, south of Kennewick. So there's a lot of demand for biking, and we now have a Evergreen Mountain Bike Association chapter in the Tri-Cities. It was a Shrub Steppe Trails Alliance that got converted to a chapter of the EMBA, and they are ready. And in fact, we've met with them a couple different times. They're ready to step in as a partner, similar to Friends of Badger, to be able to develop the trails, to be able to develop signage, do a lot of the landlord work and management work to take that off the county's plate. So if you're looking for a plus, you have a partner that's ready to step in, help do the planning, the maintenance, construction maintenance of the trails, and kind of help police the area too, informally.
Kind of like Friends of Badger Mountain.
Yep. So as we were having these discussions, we got an email kind of out of the blue that says, hey, by the way, we just opened up our trust land transfer program that we were telling you about. And if you want to, you can apply before September 30th. And so then we kind of scrambled and said, all right, this is where we need to get in front of the board. And so depending upon what your decision or support is for today, our next step would be to go to the Parks and Rec Board on a meeting on the 19th. And then we're also going to reach out to the Yakima Nation and the Umatilla tribe, because there's a specific criteria that the tribal support is one of the things that DNR is looking for. And we think we can get that because our relationship's there. And then we would also hold a public meeting August 27th to receive public input and share what our plans are for the property, and then finalize that application and submit it by September 3rd.
I'm good with that.
Biking trails.
Both.
Okay.
Yes. So it'll be
What about the
primarily.
horse people?
So actually, I think it could be used as horse as well. But there will be some dedicated mountain bike trails where the guy, the people that want a mountain bike can bomb down those trails and not worry about it. So there might be like some shared areas, then there might be some mountain bike only. And we can make that work. There's actually a lot of space out there. And it's pretty steep, so you gotta be pretty motivated to want to do that big drop to get up the top.
Adam, I just asked on behalf of Mr. Atkins, who rides his horses. I just found out today.
Adam, are you good with it?
I am good with it, Commissioner. I mean, it's not much I can add about getting done at these two governments as well. You asked about the ponds. I don't know if there's much in the way of ponds.
Yeah.
I think you need to go in eyes wide open, and that's what the park board is about. They go where they want to go. That's where it's ponds, we would have what we're probably to. So this point, we're working with another group like Evergreen is really important. We are able to put out Badger and Canyon Mountain, two outstanding public resources, not a lot of investment, but sort of ongoing costs by us. That's borne by it's great, a volunteer organization. And we would need that to surface again, just like everything else. So we just need to be cognizant of that and make sure we have conversations as well. But as the point was made, we've heard for a long time that the mountain bike community doesn't have a place where they have primacy, where they have to share things that are designed for other purposes. At Badger and Candy, those are trails that are really made for hikers in mind and with a broad swath of hikers. So the mountain bikers go there and ride, but those trails aren't really built the way that mountain bikers can do. And so, and we don't really have a place like that. It's kind of puts them in the first place. So perhaps in my vision, would be work with Evergreen to create spots open to horsemen and hikers, but where most of the trails are designed with mind, and that has to do with how wide they are, what the slope is, and with the current, how they're maintained. I think from what I've seen in the one meeting that we did have last week, they helped organize, had like 40 people show up just to come talk about it. I think we get that from not my community, and now you've got an organization statewide that has a chapter here.
No, I thank you for your comments. I started out at the Richland Parks and Rec board, so I totally understand that, how they're going to ask those type of questions. I'm for it. I have a mountain bike myself. I know there's some limitation for the ATVs and motorcycle guys off dirt bikes, but I think this would be probably a good thing. And if you have a partner in there that would be willing to go in there and improve the property and stuff, and make it a positive thing. So, yeah.
Are you guys familiar with the location? So if you're heading northbound 8 or take 397 in Finley, there's that biking area that's basically, so it's on the south side of Kennewick, but on the east side of the highway. And there's like a bunch of dirt biking, and I like it because I live in that area, and so I'll go ride with my kid and stuff. And they got some fun jumps, but he'll also take not like a motorcycle dirt bike. So is there going to be motorcycle dirt bikes available here too, or is it mostly just like pedal bikes?
It's going to be pedal bikes and e-bikes.
And e-bikes, okay, because that's
But not
Yeah.
like combustion motor.
okay, good. Yeah, because that's what he and his, like 4 of his friends will go riding out there with their e-bikes that
Yeah.
I made him pay for it to do his chores
Yeah.
and stuff, so he pays for it. But yeah, no, it makes sense because it is a lot of fun going out there, because especially with some of the jumps that, I don't know who built them, but built some actually fun jumps for us and the kids and everything, so we can do something like that. I think it'll be a good thing to do.
And that's the plan, is to have like, because you can have trails that weave between the
Correct.
jumps if you don't want to take the jumps, but then you've also got the drops and the jumps for those that want to do that. And the idea is to kind of provide a variety. And there's enough elevation out here to get some pretty good speeds. And that state patrol area that you're talking about, that is, has been used informally for years and years, right?
Yeah.
But I've done some critical areas permitting for some developments that are going out in that area. And that's slowly just going to be taken out.
Oh, okay.
There's already more development that's happening, and it's just going to continue on as Kennewick grows. So that's going to go away. This would be a replacement for that area.
Yeah, because he had about 15 of his friends, and they kept bugging me about taking my mini Traco out there. So I built like 4 or 5 jumps for him.
Yeah.
And then like some big like turn dirt things and stuff for him. So I spoiled him a little bit.
Yeah.
He still lives in Shorts for me.
Well, we appreciate it. I've been out there too.
Yeah, so it's pretty fun, but I agree. I think this is good. We can work this out with the community and everything, so.
Maybe, can I just say one other
Yes.
quick con that we have to work through? So access is a bit of an issue here. So we will have to work with some of the neighborhoods, KID, which we've already started discussions with about access. There may be like an access agreement that the county would have to enter into with KID, you know, and make sure your insurance coverage covers, you know, whatever is required there. I don't think it's a major thing, but it's just something that we want you to be aware of, that we'd have to work out some kind of an agreement for access. Doable, but you know, those are some of the details that we kind of figure out going forward.
So basically, you guys gonna do the due diligence, take it to the Parks and Recs, do all that stuff, come back to us when you have more finite, start the application process. Is that kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah, be ready to submit by the end of September.
Okay, go ahead. I have a resolution. You don't need a resolution.
Just a temperature
We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Looking for thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Yep.
Two thumbs up?
Two thumbs up, way up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Other business. Commissioner McKay, anything?
Just real quick, I believe all three of us got an email. I know I did. I think I heard you did, from food trucks. There's a food truck in Benton City. She contacted me in reference to being in my district. I know she had called the sheriff's office. She called the health department. I think she contacted me at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. I talked to her Friday. She wanted some type of resolution. And what I was talking about food trucks is these food trucks have 0 city permits, 0 health department permits, 0 everything. They just show up and they're starting to come in here by the groves from basically operating from 7 o'clock at night to midnight. And the health department, they're in not just our county, but they're starting to go in our county more. I think there was one in Yakima County. It's the same groups. They brandished a knife on one of the workers at the health district. And so now they're talking about law enforcement trying to get involved and go with them, at least for their safety. I think this one was resolved Friday night on that, but it's becoming more of a norm. So I got done talking to the health district this morning. They're getting concerned with it more and more because people are starting to get sick. And so I think on our next Law and Justice Council meeting or one of the future ones, they found some ways that Yakima County, I think, is starting to ticket some of those folks. So I thought it might be a good idea for the next Law and Justice Council meeting or the one after that to get Chief Guerrero, which is the chair of that, having all the city managers, which normally come to those, police chiefs come to those, prosecutor's office come, the health department come. I think they're going to ask them from the health department from Yakima to show how they're doing it now to try to organize so that they can get that all together or be more proactive so those things show up for the health and safety of everybody that's in those places and making sure everything is up and up, that we start addressing it now so we don't get those phone calls at 8 o'clock at night. So just wanted to bring that up. That's something that if it comes in your district or your district, that's coming down the pipe. That's all.
Okay. Oh, thank you. One thing I have is, this is Mr. Pettit, last board meeting. He's becoming not a house dad. I was going to call it a house mom. Retired house dad.
Oh my gosh. I didn't say that.
But hey, yeah, so he's leaving the county to spend time at home, retired, right? But we appreciate all the work you have done in the county. Upcoming endeavors and you're always welcome to come back and visit if you're going to get bored or something. Sit in. Maybe you can sit with Mr. Atkins there. You guys can reminisce. Stir the pot, right? But no, thank you for your work here at the county. Appreciate the presentations and your advice that you've given us. All the best. Thank you. Yep. Let's say
I agree. Well, I remember when I first met him, he's trying to have me say his name correctly. It was Salt, but with a G from gold. That's how you brought it up. I just want to say thank you for all the work. You've always been very pleasant to work with. I know that you did a lot of work on a contract here for us that we'll be using. That's a template, hopefully for the future and stuff like that. We get that done. So once again, enjoy retirement, enjoy the kids, enjoy life. You definitely deserve it. And hopefully to see you out of town sometime and just to say hi.
Anything? Josie? Anything, Mr. Spencer Moore? No? No electives there in Kennewick. No. Okay, so we have an executive session, performance of a public employee review. Mr. Sullivan, how much time do you need? Oh, card, it says 5 minutes. So it is now, I generally pick up my glasses. Is 9:37. We're at ease for executive session for 5 minutes. going to come out of executive session at 9:43, but we're going to extend it for up to 10 more minutes to discuss the review performance of a public employee. So 9:43 now, extend 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we're out of executive session and it is 9:53. No decisions were made on the review of performance. Do you have a motion?
I do have a
Make it.
motion. I move to approve the salary request form for John Eric Penny.
Second.
Motion and the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Anything else? Come for the board? Nope. With that, meeting adjourned. Everyone have a good afternoon. Thank you.